Have you ever felt like you're just stuck? Like your brain is kind of spinning its wheels in the same old mud? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into 5 surprisingly common signs that your mind might be getting stagnant. We'll use some real psychological insights to help you get things flowing again.
So let me just ask you straight up. Is your mind on autopilot? You know that feeling, right? Where you're just running the same mental programs day in, day out, without even thinking about it. That feeling, that's exactly what we're tackling today.
You know, when we think about growing as a person, our first thought is almost always about what we should add to our lives. We think, I need to learn a new skill, or I should start meditating, or I need a new productivity system. That's the way we're taught to think about it.
But we're going to flip that script. We're taking a reverse approach. What if real, lasting growth isn't about piling on something new? What if it's actually about removing the mental blocks that are holding you back? Think about it. Sometimes you've got to clear out the junk before you can build anything worthwhile.
So what is this enemy we're talking about? Mental stagnation. It's basically a state where your mind just digs its heels in and resists anything new. New ideas, new challenges, new ways of looking at things. It gets comfy running on these simple, repetitive mental habits. It's not about being lazy. It's more like your mind is actively playing defense against anything that could lead to growth.
Okay, so let's get into the diagnosis. How can you actually tell if this is happening to you? We're about to unveil 5 specific and sometimes kind of brutal signs. Think of them as a diagnostic tool for your own self-awareness.
All right, first up, this one is maybe the most subtle and honestly, probably the most dangerous of them all. Rigid certainty. This is that quiet, creeping feeling that you've got a subject all figured out. It's when you shut the door on learning more because, hey, you already know it all, right? Your mind starts treating knowledge like a place you've already arrived at, not this incredible journey you're supposed to be on.
Does this little voice sound familiar? It's a total defense mechanism. See, by claiming you know everything, you protect yourself from the discomfort of maybe being wrong, or heaven forbid, having to change your mind. But that comfort, that's the trap.
Let's move on to the second sign. You'll see how these start to connect. This one's all about where you point the finger when things go south.
We're talking about chronic blame shifting. This is the habit of always finding something or someone else to blame for your problems. It's the traffic's fault you were late. It's your boss's fault the project is struggling. It's anything and everything except you. It's a clever way to dodge accountability and that really hard work of looking in the mirror.
And this quote, it just hits the nail on the head. When you're constantly deflecting responsibility, a stagnant mind is basically giving away its power to change things next time. Because if it's never your fault, then there's never a reason for you to grow, right?
Okay, on to number 3. And this one, well, it pretty much walks hand in hand with blame. Constant complaining? See, blame focuses on the past, what went wrong. Complaining keeps you stuck right here in the present. It's this habit where you just fixate on problems over and over without ever switching gears to think about solutions. It creates this nasty, negative feedback loop that just sucks all the energy and motivation right out of you. All right, let's look at number 4. This is a massive, flashing red light that your mental engine is just idling.
A lack of curiosity. Seriously, curiosity is the engine of a growing mind. It's that little spark that makes you ask questions, explore new things, and look beneath the surface. When that engine stalls, your mind stops looking for fresh fuel and just starts to stagnate.
This comparison just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, the flowing mind is all about questions. What if? How does this work? These questions create possibilities. But look at the stagnant mind on the right. It's all about dead-end statements. That's just how it is. It won't work. It really is the difference between an open door and a solid brick wall.
And that brings us to our 5th and final sign. This is where stagnation really digs in and becomes a full-on lifestyle.
Rejecting new experiences. This is that automatic no that just pops into your head whenever you're faced with something unfamiliar. A new kind of food, a different route to work, a new project at work. Your comfort zone slowly turns into a cage, and you start actively pushing away anything that might shake up your routine.
Okay, so we've gone through the diagnosis, but here's the good news. This is the turning point. The most critical step isn't some super complicated solution. It's just awareness. Simply recognizing that you're doing these things, that is what gives you the power to change it.
So how do you actually start breaking these habits? Remember that reverse approach? It's not about adding a new giant routine. It's about interrupting an old one. So first step, just acknowledge the sign. See the habit for what it is. Step 2, catch yourself in the act. This is so important. It's like hitting the pause button on your autopilot. Then, step 3 is where the magic happens. Ask one curious question. Instead of blaming, maybe you ask, what was my role in this? That one question starts to break down that rigid certainty. And finally, step 4, consciously choose a different response. It can be tiny. This isn't about an overnight transformation. It's about pulling one little brick out of that wall, one day at a time, to start letting some light back in.
So, if you remember one thing, let it be this. You can't escape a cage if you don't even know you're in one. Seeing your own mental habits clearly, that's self-awareness. That's the real key. It's the catalyst for breaking free and getting your mind flowing again.
So I'll leave you with this final question to chew on. After all this, what's one old certainty? One thing you thought you already knew for sure that you might be willing to question, starting today?